When I think about the subgenres of mindless action films, there seem to be three. The first is the kind which, for better or worse, takes itself too seriously, instead of understanding what they really are. The Fast and Furious movies or the abysmal G20 are the perfect examples because even though it looks like the makers believe in their heart of hearts that it's a serious action film, all they manage to do is make the audiences laugh at their expense while they become meme materials for eternity. I mean, how can we as audiences take this shit seriously? And then there are movies that fully embrace the goofiness and brain rot and unapologetically be what they were always meant to, like Red Notice, Austin Powers, or many of the old Jackie Chan classics that never even try to take themselves seriously, and for me personally, they feel like the best in the category. And then there's the third subgenre, where heads of state stands wobbling perpetually without ever falling on one side. It's a most forgettable film, as in you literally wouldn't think about ever watching it again, not for recall value or action or the acting, basically anything really. But when you do watch it the one and only time, it's a subpar bit of fun. Maybe just enough to give it 115 minutes of watch time, preferably while you finish your chores. Most probably because you've paid for your Amazon Prime subscription with hard-earned money. All to watch John Cena and Idris Elba play themselves and goof around pretending to be serious sometimes, only to goof around again, all while Priyanka Chopra Jonas prances around with a gun, trying to look tough but looking cute instead, while the trio enjoy a Bezos-sponsored Europe trip while cashing hefty paychecks to pay the expenses of living life as a celebrity. That about sums it up. The decent part about this film, which keeps it bearable, might also be the part that makes it so forgettable. You see, I can rant about a film like the aforementioned G20 all day long, which I think is exactly what a democratic, non-binary, gender, fluid modern girl imagined Kamala Harris to do. You know, kick asses and girl boss her way into what own country's guns blazing, if ever elected. Well, thank God I didn't have to witness that abomination. But at least it stands firmly with one idea. Oh god, did I just find something good about G20?
Oh, I want to take it back.
No, you can't retract it.
But you see, criticism or praise can only be directed towards set notions. But what about something that doesn't even know what it wants to be? You just look at it and go, okay, that was something. Which is exactly what my expression was after watching this film. But let me talk about the plot parallelly so that you can understand what I'm talking about, which by the way is as generic as it can get. And here's the spoiler alert for those 4.5 people that expect to gain some thrill out of the story of this cookie cutter film. Remember, you have been warned. So Idris Elba is the Prime Minister of UK and a former army veteran who looks perfect in the part. After all, isn't this how all the former prime ministers looked? Big, fit, with killer looks, you know, like Britain's most famous covert operative, like James Bond. And Cena is the President of the United States, where he looked just as out of place as Elba. You see, politics and fitness seldom go hand in hand. But never mind logic, let's just go ahead. So Cena and Elba, who don't really like each other, promise to gun down an international arms dealer who at the beginning of the film infiltrates a CIA/MI6 joint operation and kills every single operative except Priyanka and gains control of CIA's super secret surveillance program. I was also shocked to see a star like Sharlto Copley play a nothing role for 20 seconds before being killed off unceremoniously. What happened to you, man? But as Cena and Elba seem divided because of their childish public spat, they decide to fly together in Air Force One as a show of solidarity. But the arms dealer sends a plane of his own to attack Air Force One as if it's some commercial airliner, so that the rest of the story can take place. For those who don't know, every time the president's air convoy is in international space, it's escorted by F-22 Raptors, which would shoot down anyone even trying to get too close. Well, it's not Cena, but logic that I can't see. Never mind, so the plane is shot down, so Cena and Elba have to make their way across the border from Belarus to Poland to a CIA safe house. But remember, the arms dealer has access to the world's best surveillance network, so he tracks their movements and sends a kill squad to eliminate them. Jack Quaid saves them first, Chopra saves them next, who tracked them down God knows how, but she then reveals that the arms dealer's son was a brilliant scientist who was killed during a NATO op just because he wanted to make clean, sustainable energy for a better world, for which his criminal dad bought some plutonium home along with bread and milk. I know the story needs to go on. I know. I get it. And now the guy's on a mission to take down NATO, but why does he want to kill Cena and Elba? Well, they didn't tell me. And also, there's an ongoing subplot where Elba and Chopra are romantically involved. As I said, generic. So Chopra takes them across Europe to the NATO summit in Italy, all while the vice president is trying to organize a coup and take out Cena permanently so that she can remain the sitting president. The trio get there, kill some evil guys with their bare hands, and everything's right with the world again. Oh yeah, at the end of the film, we see Priyanka Chopra attempting to recruit the character of Jack Quaid, who I think died, whatever. But she's doing this for God knows what reason because they have literally established no storyline between the two throughout the entire film. But that's exactly what this shitty movie needs, doesn't it? A spin-off and a sequel. It's just a pathetic attempt from the makers to try and establish some kind of a foundation in case the movie performs well, so that they can then expand this shit show into a shared movie universe. As if Hollywood hasn't had enough of those. Could it have been any more inconsequential? The answer is no. Forgettable and outright stupid action, dialogues that go from serious to comedic in half a second, unexplained motives and subplots, twists that you kind of see coming, but you wouldn't find yourself caring about them, and characters that exist for fuck knows what reasons. Like this couple of siblings, whatever they are, that are not even named, who are trying to kill the protagonists the whole time with a vengeance, but it's never even revealed why. And all of this while Cena and Elba seem to be having tons of fun and exuding brilliant chemistry and charisma. And I fully expected Cena to embrace goofiness as he did with some of his previous projects like Ricky Stenicki and Jackpot, where at least he stood out even though the movies themselves were pretty f***ing horrible. But here, for some insane reason, Cena was portrayed as half serious. Why? Like, he's a family man here with a wife and a kid, and has some genuine moments where you can see him making an effort to evoke some emotion in the audiences. But just as you think that this movie is about to show some heart, it reverts back to silliness and you eventually realize that the tease was just a hook to make you stay. And simply because the star cast is pretty good, I stayed back. Well, I never claimed to be smart. There isn't even stupid tropes like girl bossing or man bashing that I could really complain about. For example, Priyanka Chopra just goes through her action choreography, looks fine doing it, but never once does she stand out for good or bad reasons, just like everything else about this film except for the chemistry between the leads. So in essence, if you like John Cena and/or Idris Elba, watch it to see them have some fun. Because as God is my witness, I can tell you, if it wasn't these two playing the leads in the film and some other duo instead, it would seem like the snooze fest of a century. But it looks like John Cena has a contract with Amazon that he has to see through. Well, if you decide to walk out of your contract, they will see you, John, and in court. And Priyanka Chopra hasn't done a project in a good while, so it makes sense because she would want to keep making appearances. But why did Idris Elba do it? It's beyond me. Right. So I've given you the crux of the matter, and it's on you now to decide. That's it for today, folks. I'm gonna go have a chicken lasagna.